Hello and welcome to Estic Media on YouTube. It's a pleasure to be with you here once again. How are you? I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're coping. I hope you're fine. I hope everything is just basically ruminating in your favor. Well, on Estic Media, we actually talk about issues trending in Nigeria's socio-political landscape. We tend to give you trending stories on issues across Nigeria, and you're able to get your own informed opinion from a logical perspective based on how the information is rolled out to you. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. It's at Estic Media on YouTube. You actually see it right there on your screen. So subscribe, like, and share. I would love you to comment on some of the topical issues that I'm going to basically highlight here today. One of the first stories we're going to look at is concerning the Finnish government, an update on Simon Ekpa. Now, there have been quite a lot of back and forth. There have been quite a lot of what I say support from his followers. We've seen several YouTube videos which actually expatiates further on how the trial proceedings are ongoing. Some say that for the Finnish government to have invited him for questioning, it means that they have done their due diligence and their investigation. Now, there are talks about if he's going to be extradited. Well, apparently Nigeria does not have any extradition treaty with the Finnish government. And if you consider the way things are done here with the abuse of human rights and all in this part of the world, well, I don't think it would be surprising if the Finnish government refuses any extrajudicial procession, or will I say clamor from the Nigerian government. So in other words, whatever it is they're doing is going to be within the confines of the law of the Finnish government. Remember, Simon Ekpa is a Finnish citizen as well as a Nigerian citizen. Well, apparently a senior detective, Superintendent Mikko Laxinen of Finland's National Bureau of Investigation, confirmed to the Punch, because Punch reached out to them to ask questions as to the update on Simon Ekpa and as to when he will actually be released, or what the update is concerning his, pre-trial. And they actually said that, well, they have set his court appearance date to May 2025. That's basically the deadline for prosecutors to file potential charges against Ekpa. So right now, the next time he will be due in court will be till May 2025. But the talk is that Simon Ekpa has been released, maybe due to the counsel from his legal team. Maybe he's been asked not to put any post on his social media, since that is basically one of the reasons through which he was invited for questioning, as to the fact that most of the content on his social media platforms are supposedly inciting, and that's basically what he was invited for. So on that update, well, Punch did try to reach them, and they confirmed that his court procession or court proceeding will commence next year, 2025. So what happens between now and then? Remember that the Biafrans are waiting for the December 2nd declaration of Biafra. So we don't know how that process is going to be like, considering the fact that a lot of fundraising effort has gone into it. International support has gone into it. Nigerians in diaspora are looking forward to it, and even Nigerians back home here are looking forward to it. So we don't know if that idea has been mooted, although they have been able to position someone else to be in charge for now, since Simon Ekpa is going through this process, but we can never tell. However, we know that immediately Simon Ekpa was apprehended, or taken into custody by the Finnish government for his pre-trial session, we heard of an attack in Enugu State. Now, questions are, if indeed Simon Ekpa was the one inciting the terror in the southeast, how come we began to realize another terrorist activity of pillaging, killing people in their farmlands in the southeast, being the fact that when this occurred, this man was within the Finnish custody. So who exactly is propagating the killings in the southeast? There are allegations that it's the Nigerian government in collusion with some bodies who intend to deliberately create unrest in the southeast, deteriorate the economy further, and give a projection that the southeast is ungovernable or unstable, and that obviously the military presence needs to be consistent in that particular region of the country. Others believe that the military checkpoints there should be eroded, should be dismantled, and that people who wants to go and do their businesses should stop being harassed, trolled on the road, extorted and abused, or whatever form of human right abuse that goes on with persons who have been plying the route, heading on to several villages within the southeast. There's been quite a lot of talk and agitation for the Nigerian government to dismantle all the military checkpoints there. There's been quite a lot of talk on the southeast governors to wake up and protect their territory, protect their region, so that the killings and the invasion of some elements will stop and the sense of alertness is actually being called on. Others have actually displaced that a lot of youth who ought to be the major, like say, pillar or yardstick for development in the southeast have migrated to other regions because they're not safe, because of the harassment and the fact that sometimes when something happens, the Nigerian security agencies, specifically the military, go to their homes, take them off there, no prosecution, no trial, and then they're displaced. Nobody knows where they're kept, nobody knows where they're taken. So the big question now is, now that Simon Ekpa is being observed by the Finnish authority, now that he has a court case with them, what then happens with the insecurity in the southeast region? How should the southeasterners begin to work on themselves to ensure that they protect their borders, they rejuvenate, regurgitate, revitalize their economy, and make East Southeast a region of potential investment opportunity, attract international investments as well, that will make a lot of the youth who have been displaced or been in disarray in either several countries or several states come home and be assured that they can get employment opportunities and they are safe. So this is a conversation, and it is quite important for this to be considered. So this is one of the stories trending. The second one is concerning the whole CNG saga, where President Tinubu has been actually putting it forward, encouraging Nigerians to convert their vehicles from petrol to CNG, that is gas. But hey, in order for that to be expedited, some individuals were sent to India to observe the making process of the CNG and to actually let Nigerians know how safe it is or how accommodating it is. And the persons that were sent was Tuki Sidibia, who is a legendary, well-known musician, basketball, who is known as Bright Okocha, a comedian, and Ola Lagos, who we know as a hype man, someone who hypes luxury vehicles, hypes properties and all of that. Now, a lot of Nigerians criticize these individuals who were sent by the Nigerian government to go to India. They say we have a lot of engineers in this country, or even professors of that department. You have meteorological engineers, you have civil engineers, you have oil and gas engineers that could have been sent to India, who understand all the property processing and all that is required and can properly explain in context when they come back home. And it's a way of giving them that desired exposure. But the federal government sent influencers instead, persons whom they know have a following on social media. Now, a lot of Nigerians were saying that this administration is definitely not serious. All they rely on is on propaganda rather than having to effectively ensure and actually transmit or communicate to Nigerians that indeed their policies are people-oriented and that the policies will indeed help the plight of Nigerians, rather than having to create a media protocol that sets off advice of something that they intend Nigerians to consume to look attractive. Well, a lot of back and forth concerning that. These persons who were sent have actually, we've seen videos on social media where they're talking about the processing, the fact that it's very good, the fact that it's safe, the difference between CNG and the normal cooking gas that we use, and the fact that we need more conversion centers in Lagos. So there's quite a lot of talk in that particular respect, in that particular regard, and I'll tell you, it's actually quite interesting. Another interesting scenario also that has unfolded in Nigeria's political landscape is concerning the operations of the Port Harcourt Refinery. Now, there's been quite a lot of talk that the operations of Port Harcourt Refinery is actually not true. Now, the NNPCL said they've not been able to put a price tag in terms of lifting product and selling. They still decided how much, and there are talks that the price that was set by the NNPCL as of yesterday or so from Port Harcourt Refinery is even higher than that of Dangote. So what is now the essence? This is our crude, right? This is not a private individual's crude who determines how much it is. So how can somebody's crude who is supposedly private be more cheaper than the one that is from the federal government? Meanwhile, there are talks that indeed it's just a blending and mixing processing that is going on in the Port Harcourt Refinery and not necessarily refining petrol or refining oil. Whichever case it is, one thing is for sure. If the Port Harcourt Refinery will become active, if the operations will actually commence as soon as possible, Nigerians will love it, and it will kind of give us a sort of economic refuge. At this moment, a lot of people no longer drive their vehicles, they can no longer go out. They've been kind of, what's the word, alternating their movements, planning their movements properly because fuel has become so expensive. You have inconsistent power supply. So companies are relying on petrol to actually provide alternative energy for them to go about their businesses, for especially entrepreneurs and a lot of people who rely on manufacturing. So it is actually essential that fuel prices come down so that businesses can thrive and the economy can reawaken from whatever slumber that it has been put on, either deliberately or not. So these are the conversations. Remember, I told you, subscribe, like, share, and I'd love to know what your contributions are based on the conversations that have been had here, or would I say the highlights given here. Thank you very much. Bye for now.